Hey everybody, what's up and welcome to Conjuror Community. I'm Aaron Fisher. I'm here with Adam, Alex, and Steve from CC Club, the world's best magic club. Now today we're going to be watching at even more amazing magic, the commercial magic of Bruce Cervon. So do us a favor, hit the like button and subscribe so you'll be notified every time we do some magic. And boy, do we do a lot of magic. Gentlemen, what are we going to do today?
Do we do a lot of we do magic every day here at Conjuror Community. It's kind of like that's all we do is magic.
It's true. It's like we literally went through a whole life cycle where when we were kids, we did nothing but magic. Then we became grown men and we began to integrate other aspects of our life. And now we've stopped doing all of that.
Well, because we realized how wrong it was. We realized how wrong it was to spend time doing anything other than magic. It was just a complete waste of time.
So now that's over.
Mm-hmm.
I just broke my gate. I'm stuck in magic.
You know? Yeah, now we've got everything in order. We do magic all the time.
And that's it. So
I wish we had video footage of Erdnase, or the man who would be named Erdnase. I wish we had more video footage of Vernon. I wish we had something to watch of Houdini himself. I know there's some old, very old, like whatnot.
Yeah, a little rough
to watch.
And he had that strange voice. Do you remember listening to his voice? I mean, there was that wonderful tape of Charlie Miller. There was actually plenty of tape of Charlie Miller kicking around. But when you hear Houdini's voice and you wonder if that's what the voice sounded like when they put it on the album, you know.
I will attempt to jump from this bridge into this water.
And you're like, wow, he looks like such a tough dude. And tonight, I will fall from 50 feet. You know, he really had a
sensation.
It caused a sensation on the Orpheum circuit.
I think he had a little bit of that theatrical training, and he knew how to project that voice, which you must get into the higher range if you want to do it.
I think he was there already. Perhaps he was just really cold.
Yeah, probably, because he was naked almost every night.
Right. And that's what kept him from being obscene, you know, with all those chains on.
The bandana.
No fig leaf. Now, Bruce Cervon, he was never the kind of guy to come on stage naked except for chains.
Not that we know of.
He wore the suit.
Different kind of act.
As far as we know, that's the truth.
He did have that one chain, but this one is this first one. So are we done? Is this last Bruce Day? Or do we have one more? Never.
There could be more coming.
All right. So today we're going to look at what is essentially some tricks with rings, some tricks with ropes. We're going to watch some different kind of very commercial stuff. So it's a little departure from yesterday or the last one, right?
Yes, but we'll start with a little bit of card magic to get there, and then we'll look at basically like what would be like showpieces he would do for paying audiences. I would imagine outside the castle, these other tricks that we're going to see that aren't the card tricks are ones that he would be doing for someone if they hired him for a private event, for sure, because they are just killers.
They're all killers. Now, if we had whiskey here, I would propose a small Servon drinking game, which would just be take a drink whenever Bruce says no.
Ooh.
I don't know if it happens today because it's not like
There's
that.
A little bit today.
But Bruce would occasionally have patter lines where he'd be like, you know, and they'd ask a question, then someone would say something, go, no, and you go, ooh, hey, I'm sorry.
You know what, Aaron? I think you might just have found the key to making our YouTube channel explode.
Really drinking.
You're
really working out these drinking games.
Really doing.
All right, I like it.
We could ruin your whole afternoon with just a handful of magic tricks.
We've already established we do nothing but magic all the time anyway.
Well, as long as we're at the end of the Western world, why not?
Why not?
Let's watch some magic.
Magic time.
Magic! Who could ask for anything more? No!
I haven't seen this. Trick.
I started doing these magic tricks a long time ago when I was a little kid. But when I was in college, I had a very dear friend who also, he didn't know a lot of magic tricks, but he did a few. You know what I mean? And one of the tricks that he did always bothered me. It was the most interesting trick. What he would do is he would take forgot they're right here on the top. He would take the 4 aces like this, and what he would always do is this. He said, Bruce, that's the ace of hearts.
No.
And he'd take that ace of hearts, and he'd like stick it right in the middle of the deck like that. Then he did this real slow. He just did a move like that. And I never could figure out what he did. But believe it or not, that would bring the ace of hearts back to the top.
Ooh.
Now,
that was a beautiful little thing there.
Very confusing if you think about it for a minute. He would just take the card, he'd put it in the deck, sometime he'd put it in the back, sometime in the front, and he pushed it in like that, then he just did this move.
Yeah, you know.
What does that do? It brings the ace to the top, that's what it does. But I don't know how he did it, you see. Here, let me show you one more time. This is what he would always do. He'd take the card, he'd push it in like that, he'd just do this, do that move, and as soon as he do it, the card come over here. Now, the last one he was always very clever about. You know, he'd put it in like this. He'd say, now, I'm not doing anything, am I? It's right in the middle of the table. There's no way I can get away with this. Then he'd push that card in like this, see? And he'd just do this, and a card would come to the top. Now, no. I appreciate the fact that you want to applaud. But I never liked this trick. No, I'll tell you why. I thought he wasted a lot of time. Wouldn't it be a much better trick if you put all 4 aces in the middle together? You just did this move once, and they all came back up.
No.
No.
That was a great example of it right there. That's really one.
No.
He actually, if he did it, if I done told you once, I done told you 1,000 times. He literally said no. He doesn't say no once, does he? He says no many times.
No.
Adam, do you want to tell the people how much you love the slow motion, the 4 ace ambitious? I remember when we were doing the out of the box stuff and we were shooting all this video footage, and I was doing this trick where the 4 aces come to the top repeatedly, you know, because it's a problem with magic, right? What can you do? But, you know, do something else or do this one better, you know? And he's like, what's the difference between that and the, you know, Adam, did you see Bruce do the slow motion 4 ace ambitious? Do you remember having this discussion?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Adam was like, I was like, see, they each came back to the top in a different way. And Adam's like, I see no difference between that and the other trick. And I was like, no, see, no.
This trick, the card was further down. It came to the top after I pushed it in, not before. In this version, the card comes to the top while it's still in the middle. Different effect.
That's right. Now, one other thing to notice about Bruce Servon is when you watch him, you'll wonder if he actually broke his finger or sprained it at a certain point, because you'll never see a man. He not only keeps his pinky out, but never the twain shall meet. Never does it come back. Never does it really stop. So you can watch that pinky at full extension the whole time.
Awesome.
No.
And you got to add one more to the list. The other big one is, you see, I'm going to show you. You see, watch this. You see.
Another fun thing about Bruce, and these are all we're Bruce fans, you know what I mean? In fact, I used to sit in the parlor when he was working, and like I was on the East Coast, like Jersey, like Steve Barcelona or something, I'd sit in the back row and I'd go, Bruce.
Yeah, right.
Bruce. I was the only one because I was in California. Bruce.
And nobody got it. Yeah.
Nobody. But I laughed. And so, Bruce. So the other thing, if you listen to that patter of that last bit, Bruce was talking about a fictional friend of his that did magic, but you could almost tell that not even his fictional friend actually did it good enough to impress him. He's doing a trick about a guy whose magic trick he liked, and he's going, hey, you know,
can't believe you picked up on that. That is
Well, I had a chance
hilarious.
to see the man work, and I'm a big fan. But it was a real, it was a fun, always a fun experience.
Everybody has their idiosyncrasies.
No.
Everybody does.
And what was the other line, Alex? No, you see.
You see?
I hope he throws in a why I oughta.
If only.
No.
Why I oughta.
No. You see? Let me show you.
I'd have brain ya.
Keep your eye on that pinky. It is rigid.
All right, here we go. Can you see it?
Being choked off by that ring.
Look at that.
Do you happen to have a favorite number, like from 1 to 10?
Nope.
6? Okay, we'll use a 6. Let's see, the first one here's a 6. Well, let's just use all 4 of them. I think that's the easiest way to do this. 6 of spades, 6 of diamonds, 6 of hearts, 6 of clubs. Okay, fine, all 4. All 4 6s. And aside from these 6s, I don't know if you saw when I started this trick that I was fiddling around with the cards. Well, what I did was I found the joker, because I want to use the joker in this trick. So I just put it on top of the deck. And I didn't think you'd mind if I did that. What I want you to do is I want you to hold these 6s right at the corner like that and wave them over the joker. Would you do that for me? Geez, you do that great. That's very nice. Really, very nice. Did you see anything happen when you waved those, however she did it?
He didn't mean it.
Over the
He
jokers?
didn't mean it.
He didn't really mean
You
it.
didn't? The funny thing, I didn't either.
You're saying he didn't mean it.
He never means it. No, he's the most confident magician I ever met. And he literally didn't mean to be mean when he was talking about his fictional friend who didn't really do the trick that great. And when he told her that, rewind it, just give it 10 seconds, because then
That was great.
you were getting ready to say I was not right, but then he did an impression of her doing it.
Didn't? The funny thing, I didn't either. And I doubt very much if...
Wait, did I mess up?
Yep.
Geez, you do that great. I think you might
There it
have
was.
did that.
That's it.
What I want you to do is I want you to hold these 6s right at the corner like that and wave them over the joker. Would you do that for me? Geez, you do that great. That's very nice. Really, very nice. Did you see anything happen when you waved those, however she did it? Over the jokers?
No.
You didn't? You didn't?
No.
The funny thing, I didn't either. And I doubt very much if... Well, I guess I was wrong, wasn't I? You know what you've just done, don't you? You've ruined my deck of cards. I mean, what am I going to do with jokers and no 6s, you know what I mean? I'll tell you what, if I add this joker to those other jokers, how many do I have? Do you remember?
5 jokers.
No. 5? 1, 2, 3, 4 only.
No, because there was 4 6s and a joker before.
No,
I
dear.
like her.
You know, it's very hard to follow these magic tricks. And so, you see, it's hard to understand what I'm doing, you know? You know, there are the 4 aces. Now, I'm just going to show you, this is kind of interesting. If I just touch that corner of the card like that, one of them turns face down. See, there's the club, there's the spade, there's the diamond. One turns face down, the ace of
Hearts.
no. What was it?
Hearts.
No. That's $1 you owe me. See, this has got to be the ace of...
Diamonds.
No. That's $2 you owe me. Look, see, it's two reds and a black. See what I mean? So that's got to be the ace of...
No.
I'm sorry?
You should just call this the no trick.
No, that's $3 you owe me. Look, I'll tell you what. There's 3 and there's only one face down, so that's got to be the ace of...
Spades.
No, you know, that's $4 you owe me. But it's a pretty good trick, isn't it?
No.
That's Arlene or the no trick. He said no 13 times
I gotta go lay down, guys.
in 3 phases. No. No. And then one you see. I love it. I think, and incidentally, we're giggling, but what a great trick.
Oh, I think it's super strong. I just wouldn't use that presentation necessarily, but I think that this methodology and the trick itself are awesome.
Yeah, Bruce likes to mix it up a little.
It's just fun to poke fun at Bruce because the reality is what Aaron said. The guy's like a superhero when he performs. Like, he's bulletproof. You couldn't shake that guy if you tried when he's actually performing. Like, he is there to win the day. So it's fun to watch this stuff later and look at the video and go, look at this guy. Because the reality is in front of real laymen, like, he was unstoppable. He's like a freight train. Really an amazing performer. No doubt about it.
And not afraid to mix it up.
Not afraid to mix it up.
And
no. You see?
And a little out of place in California with that.
I never thought about that before. You're right.
You know what I mean? Like, his style was a pretty, like, Jersey barrier style. You know what I mean? You picture working on the 95 in some Italian wedding hall.
When did this Servon become part of Bruce?
It was sometimes after Darkness on the Edge of Town.
Darkness on the Edge of the Bar.
It's like, because we're watching old footage where he's wearing a coat and tie, and the ascot didn't come in till later, right?
That's a big choice, man. When you go from necktie to ascot,
but it's not really an ascot.
Big.
It's just a handkerchief, right? So he was wearing the handkerchief like an ascot,
like a desert deal, like a lover boy kind of
like a choker. You know what I mean? Because the thing is, it was kind of like Mina Harker in Dracula. Like, it would emphasize his beautiful neck.
Well,
am I wrong, Alex?
It felt like when it was time to party, he would have that on. Like, it didn't seem like it was all the time.
It's a certain.
When he was there to, like, lay down the beat. That's when the ascot was on, right?
And it wasn't an ascot. It's a hanky, and you see his neck above it and his neck below, and you definitely felt like if he removed it, you might see two attractive puncture wounds. It's like, wow, traditionally that's for accentuating the beautiful neck. Interesting. I guess it's doing that here. It's very interesting.
I just never saw him without it. Like watching these videos is cool, but I just never saw him personally without it.
Oh, you did see him with it?
Yeah. Like the later years, like him at the castle and stuff, always had the ascot. The handkerchief.
That's why Gordon called it the Servon, because that doesn't really have a name.
It doesn't.
It was just Bruce.
Just Bruce.
Right? And it was interesting. That was after he and Patty fired the rest of the band.
Robert Battle actually says that he could see Alex slimmer in one. Have you ever thought about wearing a Cervon?
No. I remember seeing it and really like trying to understand it, and I still don't.
I think you could rock it. I think you could rock it.
Well,
I appreciate your encouragement.
It's the same thing with the Bruce's kind of direct and somewhat confrontational, but not in a bad way, style. Was Bruce gave zero flarns, so Bruce didn't care, he was right out there and he put it over, and there was something about it that transferred in his energy to the audience, and it's in the dialogue, and we can see it there, and it was definitely in the Servon when he was wearing that handkerchief. You got to, like, it's like a hat, you know what I mean? You know how you got to wear a hat, not like these hats. This is exactly, I remember Bruce saying this once. Do you see what I just said? Not like these hats. I remember a moment when I was standing with Lee Asher in the bar, and it was a Sunday or something, and Bruce was talking about how the old men used to dress, and he was like, no, not like you bums. No, not like this.
That's the best. That is so great.
I'm not even kidding. No, not like this. And it was literally just the way he spoke to that lady about the way she shook the cards. Now you realize he didn't mean any disrespect. That's why it's so low. He was just he just couldn't hide his feelings. You know, he was an honest man. I loved him.
He's very lovable.
All right, let's watch the non-card magic. All right, let's watch something now that's truly considered a classic commercial style. Something that Servon did. I don't know, this better than anyone. This is a trick that kills. And
Dominique says, I don't like how he treats his audience. I'll just give you one quote, Dominic. Here's what John Carney used to say. He used to say, he used to do an impression of people leaving the Bruce Servon show. Here's the impression of a person after the Bruce Servon show. Man, that prick was good.
And that went up like on the card at the front of the room. This prick is good.
I mean it with love. Everyone's smiling because they didn't know if I was going to tell that story, but you have to love it. You have to love it. And the magic is so good. Just, be yourself and you won't have any of those same issues. Just don't be Bruce. Don't do your Bruce.
As long as, you won't have those issues as long as,
what?
You're not,
Jew?
No. You're not a prick. I mean, you won't have this problem as long as you're not one.
All right. Enough of that.
Down and back.
We're going to get our 7th YouTube violation soon. All right. Let's watch Silent Flight. Here we go.
But here, everybody put your hands out like this. Everybody put your hands out like this. Come on, put them out. Now do this. Boy, is that weird looking. Yeah. Hold it. Stop doing this. Don't do this anymore. It makes me sick to my stomach. Look, just keep your hands out like this. Just keep them right out there. Now you can put yours down, and you can put yours in. Gee, look at this. Isn't that pretty? And your first name was what, dear?
Deanna.
We found what we're looking for. You can put this down. Now look, Deanna, before you take that off, I want you to look at something. I want you to see something. Check it out very carefully. If you were to see these keys again, do you think that you could recognize them as being the same key? Here, do this for me. Do this for me. Just do this. Just say, oh, yes.
Oh, yes.
I think it looks.
I think it looks.
Like the same key.
The same key.
See, now, even if you're not sure, you know what to say. See what I mean? It's like a Hollywood rehearsal thing, all right? All right, Diana, if I could borrow from you only momentarily that beautiful ring.
You want to borrow it?
Gee, wasn't that what I said? I don't quite understand. Only momentarily. Stupidest thing she's ever done, I'll tell you that right now. Isn't it pretty? Isn't it nice? All right. Dan, it's your ring. Do you know where your ring is right now? Good, very good. Yeah, oh, was, she says. Very good. All right. Look, hold my wrist so it doesn't go anywhere. There's only 2 ways a magician could make something disappear. Number 1, he doesn't put it in his hand. Number 2, up or down the sleeve. She has effectively cut off that avenue of escape. It's a little too tight, dear. You know, it's cramping up. You know what I mean? Hold it, hold it, hold it. Don't move your feet. Check right in this area right over here. If you don't find it, we'll let the maitre d' know that you lost the ring in this area, all right? Now, for my next trick, what I want to do, everybody always loves card tricks. This is one thing they always say. They say, Bruce, all right, I understand. Can you imagine any other profession that could get away with that? Think about it. Here, you go to your doc. No, you go to your doctor and you say, Doc, I got this little pain over here. And he goes, You are out of there. I got it. I got it. Oh, yes.
Oh, yes.
I think it looks.
I think it
See,
looks.
the ring went right along with the mine. See, she doesn't even, she has, we all have a clue now where that ring is. At least we hope we have a clue where that ring is. Here, right over here, let's check this out. This is where the applause happens.
Oh my God.
Oh, gosh, I never could figure out how to take these things off here. I know you say, oh, I'm going to look awfully silly wearing your key case, aren't I? Here you are, dear. Thank you very much. A little hand for her, really. I really appreciate the help of the ring. Thank you.
I've always loved that trick. I've always just been scared of it. It's really a cool effect.
I did it for a while, a long time ago.
You
That's
did.
like a real 70s. It looks like it's a Sterling ring flight. That
You can see that skull tin in there.
see it.
Yeah.
He says that it is one of the original ones, and I think he says something about Alcaran in the story of how he got it. So
I've actually got one somewhere around here. I couldn't put my hands on it.
and you really did it. You would do it on like walk around. Like, would you do it table side or would you?
I would do it like that kind of thing.
Uh-huh.
Just like close up. I like the way he gets into it. I like the fact that he gets into it by showing the keys first, which is a great reason to go back and prepare.
Yeah.
Did
Did you produce the key like that?
No.
Like
I've never seen anybody else do that.
Okay, I thought that was a pretty good twist on the whole
I think
thing.
if I remember, I used to say something like, since I messed up, since I lost your ring, I need to give you my car. It was something like that. I don't remember. It was a really long time ago.
Okay.
Now, here's why I stopped doing it. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Here's why I stopped doing it. So, barter ring, doing my little shtick, and there's we don't want to expose, right?
Right.
So there's like a hook you put the ring on, and it had some sharp edges, and it scratched the hell out of this woman's probably $20,000. It was pretty bad. It was like wah wah wah.
There's tons of stories like that too about it.
Yeah, and she said it was no big deal and don't worry about it, but you knew it was a big deal, and it was really bad.
She took it and buffed it out.
I'm sure in the long run it was okay, but they're not going, that magician was great. They're going, don't ever go near another magician again.
Yeah.
But unfortunately,
there's a classic story of that trick too, of a guy doing that trick and he didn't fully put it on, and it went zoom, and the ring went flying over into the ocean behind him off a pier. There's
it was a magician that was working cruise ships, and he was the day trip. Everyone pulled into the dock. They're going to go shopping on this island for the day. Hey, before you guys go shopping, let me show you a trick. Let me borrow your ring. They're standing on the dock, and the thing's gone. And the guy was able to hire a scuba diver, right? That went and found it because the thing shot off the device. The trick didn't work out. And he hired a scuba diver. The guy found the ring. He got lucky and he found the ring. But it was like his whole fee for doing the cruise ship went to the scuba diver that had to find the ring for the trick that he failed on the day off. I mean, it's like, why even give yourself an opportunity for that to happen?
And that was when the fees were better on cruise ships, I bet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Probably. Yeah.
They should have just waited till they were in a port and, hired one of the local expedition experts.
Yeah, the ring's a tricky thing, man. Borrowing the ring is a tricky thing.
Yeah, the other scary one was Paul Harris told me a story about a magician friend of his that he did. The guy did ring flight, right? He gives the ring back to the lady, and the lady goes, "Oh, I'm missing a stone." And the guy goes, "Oh no!" And he starts looking. She goes, "No, I'm just messing with you."
Yeah.
Like,
I've heard stories where people actually act like it's not their ring.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, really? Like they get it back, they get the ring back. They're like, "Yeah, this isn't the one I gave you.
This is not my ring." They're not my, and they're
They're just getting one over on the magician.
Yeah, they're messing with you.
John Gasman
You fooled me. Now I fooled you.
They love that. John Gasman put a question for Steve in there, and before I read it out loud, I just want to see if that's actually true, because that
died young and very angry. Gosh, it weighs on me. Steve said that was John saying that was his aunt that I scratched her ring. I mean,
And he said, Steve, that was my aunt. She died very young and very
I hope it's not true.
You ruined her whole existence.
I
man.
ruined her whole existence with my stupid ring trick.
He was trying to bring joy, love, and wonder to her life. And
That's all
now...
I got. All I had at the time was the damn ring trick. It's all I had.
I think it was Robert that asked if the lost object still works. And of course it still works. The problem is, for a time, the object is lost. And can't get around the fact that it's kind of not until you open up the package and it's in there. Everybody is under equal suspense.
That's
and
why
Steve
I like
closes with that effect. Basically, yeah, you destroy their money.
Yeah,
they're on stage with you.
See, because here's the deal, right? If it went wrong, which it's not going to, I could replace $100 bill. Like, there's no emotional attachment to a $100 bill. Yeah, here's here's 520s. All right, sorry, I don't have 100. That dang ring, I tell you, it left a mark. I mean, not only was that lady probably upset, but it really left it, it really put a marker. Like I was like, boop, let's not be in that situation again.
Never doing that trick again.
Yeah.
Bro, you messed up.
Yeah.
You messed up. And it was never forgotten. Every time that lady ever thought of a magician, she thought of what happened to her and how she was infiltrated.
It is a tremendous weight that I carry.
By an evil magician.
Yeah.
Poor guy.
I think the worst part about it was they knew I didn't have the money to replace the ring. They could see. They knew I didn't have it. Okay, so anyway, that was like the worst part of the whole thing. They knew I was poor too. It's obvious.
That's right. You heard me. Infiltrated.
That reminds me of old George Carlin. Remember when he used to have like his stomach grumbling, and it would talk to him in the dentist office, and his stomach would say, "We're poor." Oh, you're poor. There's nothing like when you're a broke young magician and you're like trying to decide what kind of like Sharpie cover will make it look like you're in the 1%.
Right.
I used to go to a magic friend in Las Vegas, and he wanted to be like a big time guy, and he always had various ersatz objects and accoutrements to make it look like, he fit in, you know what I mean? It's like, sometimes a Sharpie's just a Sharpie. I wonder if like Jeff Bezos like won't use the Sharpie that's lying around unless he gets it gold encrusted, and something tells me, no.
He's like, don't ever bring me a Sharpie without a Sherpa.
Yeah.
Bro, I know so many people like that in magic. Aaron, I know you do too, because we know all the same people.
Got 3 or 4 of them.
It's like, their actual public persona is so different than their private persona,
All an illusion.
I remember I learned the hard way because, there was a couple of years I was in Los Angeles and I just turned into a professional magician. I had no visible means of support except my magic shows. They were filling up maybe half the year, you know what I mean? And I just remember getting a great gig. It was like one of the first times someone paid me, over $1,000 to go do card tricks. And I had to drive down the coastal highway to where the event was going to be down near Laguna Beach or something. And I just remembered that if I pull my car into the valet to park, and there's no public parking around there, you got to park at the beach club. And I'm like, oh gosh, if anyone from the event sees my car, they're going to know they overpaid. Because you guys want to know what the difference is between a $300 magic show and a $1,000 magic show is $700. You know what I'm saying? Well, I mean, at the end of the day, once you've learned how to do it, you know how to do it, and you dress up real nice and you go do it. But the point is, then you start to overcompensate. You say, oh, goodness gracious, I need a holder for my Sharpie that says wealth. And I just don't know if Sheldon Adelstein would have seen through it. I remember doing some shows for some real big Rich people. These folks were the heads of all the Warner Brothers Viacom. So it was all the heads of the Viacom companies and their boss. So as the president of HBO, president of Time Warner Television, president of Warner Brothers Motion Pictures, they're all there. And I got to tell you, there's not a single one of them that would have fallen for my Sharpie cover. Not even a little bit.
Mm-mm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's just not, it's not like they're looking. It's not like they assume you're not working there. It's not like that's what they want from you. They don't want a sushi server who like can outdress them.
Yeah. But I've been in similar type situations, not quite like that, but with people with extraordinary amounts of wealth, you know, and they, you know, they're not fooled.
They're not fooled. But
I've had guys like that, like make negative comments about my clothing. Like,
well, this is the
jacket. Like I'm wearing something I think I look good in. You know, he's like, nice jacket. Wherever the rack is, you should go hang it back on it.
Well, that's awful.
Yeah, I've had.
To be honest, none of these people did anything like that. I'm just saying.
That people say things like that down here.
That's not.
What did you say?
They didn't pay to fool them that way. Is my only.
Fighting words.
Yeah.
Yeah, no one ever did anything like that. I'm just saying they want to see the card trick.
Yeah.
If you're lucky, they want to see the card trick, right? That's really the whole point. And I guess the moral of the story is, and this is something that a professional told me, I will not quote him, but anytime someone's got in the budget to pay you a few grand to come do cocktail party magic,
I love that.
You've got to be sure that they paid more for the sushi. It is no bad reflection on you, but you just got to understand where you fit in the order of things in order to do a lovely job. You're not supposed to be more expensive than the sushi. It's just that kind of budget. I hope this wasn't off topic because, you know, Bruce Cervon is the kind of guy that did a lot of shows in that kind of crowd.
He always got more than the sushi.
And the moral of the story was this: 2 points you can take from this. 1, leave early. 2, so you get there before the people that will see your car. 2, clean the car.
Yeah, I mean, you can rent a BMW for about $78.50 a day if you really need to, you know.
Or hire a driver in this day.
to.
I mean, come on, have someone drop you off.
I'm with you, Ron Porter. They were lovely people. I just didn't feel like the moral of the story was not to try and fool them. The moral of the story is park down the street and walk in, you know, and bring a Servon to mop your brow.
And also, let me say this. No one story means it's everybody. I've dealt with plenty of people that have been fantastic. You know, it's just the story. It's something that happened.
It's things that happen.
Let's watch some rope magic.
Next time, Steve, just go, new money. Ooh, Uber. Very nice. All right, let's do it. Ooh, get a rope.
Let me show you something else. You've all seen the trick where the magician is off in the side of the stage, you know? He's way over here. He runs into the middle of the stage. He pulls out a piece of rope, and he deftly removes both ends of the rope, leaving him with only the middle. No, I'm sorry about that. Actually, he doesn't. He finds the middle of the rope, the exact middle, and then cuts it into 2 exactly equal... Let me start again. The magician, off to the side of the stage, finds the exact center of the rope. See? It's very important to find the exact center, and when he finds that middle, he cuts the rope into 2 pieces. He simply does this, and believe it or not, it's all back in 1 piece. No.
There it was. No.
It's really something, right?
I hadn't noticed it till today. Wow.
And now you can never unsee it. And incidentally, if you remember, when he complimented that lady's ring in the last trick, he didn't really like her ring. No. You could totally tell.
I don't want any polite applause. I mean, you're sitting there thinking to yourself, why did he cut it in the first place? I know you were thinking that. So this is not the reason I brought this trick out. Actually, the reason I brought it out is I thought, wouldn't it be wonderful if I could have one of my audience become the magician for the day. See what I mean? Kind of fun. So let's see if we can't use. You've ever done any magic tricks, sir?
Dabbled a little bit.
You did?
Too much.
Think you could handle this one? If I taught you?
If you taught me.
Would you mind coming right up here and standing right here and helping? Sure. Would you do that? Let's have a little hand. Really, he deserves this. He does. Stand right over here. You look terrific. You look very, very good, actually. And your first name was?
Paul.
You meant it.
Paul. Paul, now look, I'm going to give you the scissors, Paul. I want you to hold them in your right hand. I'm going to show you how to do it, and I'm going to go very slowly so you won't have any problem seeing how it's done, all right? Okay. At the end of the trick, you do the trick, you get all the applause. Okay. Very simple.
You didn't
all
mean
right,
it?
now, Paul, what you do in order to start this trick is you take the two ends of the rope and you place them together right here at the top so they're even. Then you take them like this and you put them right there in the crotch of your thumb, Now, then you see, you might run into trouble otherwise when you start cutting. Now, see then.
That joke is just totally not even a good joke, but whatever.
What you do is you pull this down like this, Paul, till you find the exact middle of the rope. You see, this way you don't need a yardstick or anything to measure the exact middle. It's important you cut the middle. Then, Paul, you cut the rope exactly in the middle. Wait. Before you do this, Paul, I want to check, just make sure that this is the middle because I don't want you to accuse me of messing up your trick.
Okay.
Okay? Paul, wouldn't you say that's about as close to the middle of the rope as we're going to get? All right? Paul? Now, Paul is going to cut the rope just Wait a minute! Oh, great. What do I do now? See, there's a move that you see it.
See?
See?
Very funny. And not only that, you're off. My ends are perfect.
Nah.
Go ahead, fix it. Good. All right. Two exactly equal. Paul. Wait. You cut the wrong rope. See, Paul, you're supposed to cut, the long one, not the short one, all right? Here, pull this down so it's good and tight, and we'll cut that so it's right, all right? I want to get this so it's right. Oh, perfect, great, good, yeah. It's got to be the same, okay? Good, there we go. Paul now has cut the rope, so we have two. Paul, give me these. Give me the scissors. Look. Does that give you a hint?
Sure.
So you can't go wrong.
Okay.
Both at the same time. All right? Pull it down. All right. Exactly. Don't let go. This is a very dangerous man. Let me tell you that right now, friends. Listen, I know that I promised that Paul was going to do this, and he will, but you see, all back in one piece. Let's hear it for Paul. Was that fantastic? Was that good? It's not exactly what you had in mind, is it? Well, all right. Paul, I want you to be the magician here. Would you hold that end over there for me? And hold this end over here for me. I want you to, you know the magic words? What are they? Very good. Very good.
It's really astounding,
now, Paul,
isn't
here's
it?
what you want to do.
I love
say
it.
the magic words, then you want to pull that rope out between your hands, all right? Okay. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Mysteriously with the magic words, okay?
Okay.
You know the mysterious magic words like this, and here's how I want you to do it. I want you to say, Cadet. You see what I mean? Mysteriously, you know what I mean? All right, go ahead, Paul. No, Paul. Mysteriously, mysteriously.
No.
Very good. Paul, that was fantastic. You really did a great.
Adam, I just figured it out. I can't believe I just figured it out.
What is it?
Who's Bruce's hero?
Well, Vernon, yeah.
Who is Bruce probably the most studious, well-learned, careful study of? It's Vernon, right?
Yeah.
He's doing his teacher. He's literally doing, in the same unconscious way Tamarice's students do Tamarice and Sladini's student did Sladini. He's going, no, 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 no. He's literally just saying it the way it's being said to him all the time.
If he was 90 years old, all of that would be charming.
And that's what it is. Not the nose in particular. Can you hear? No, no, no. You heard John Thompson do Vernon, right?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, that's it.
I think you're right. I think he's channeling his mentor.
As Bruce would say, of course I'm right.
Now, we may have covered this. I don't remember. He passed, didn't he?
Yes, in every trick nearly.
Go.
Well, you can. It's not going to go over, but you can.
No one will get the joke.
Yeah. There's an interesting thing happening here, and I can feel it in the chat, and I think it's an interesting thing. When we were in Los Angeles, it was always difficult with Bruce. There was two conflicting things. There'd be the intense feeling of watching Bruce sort of do Bruce, and that would be coming together like two flavors, sweet and savory, with this beautiful magic. He's doing this beautiful magic, but he's doing it in this way which sometimes can feel combative. And I'm sure that some of you watching it can feel that tension. And in some cases, you probably find it a little uncomfortable. For me and Alex in particular, who spent a lot of time watching Bruce and probably did some then, I'm just feeling nostalgia is my experience. Is that maybe, because I'm looking at it now and I'm going, you lovable old fella. I love you.
Yeah. I imagine if he lived and be another 20, 30 years, like what you said of Vernon, it's true. I don't think there's any malice in his heart. No. I think he's just, it's just like his personality. It's like it's like a personality trait. It's part of who he is. And I think he would talk to you like that at a dinner party. You know what I mean?
Also, too, it's very much the style of the way magic was presented back then, too. It's very different in the 60s and 70s. I don't want to say combative, but there's a lot of challenge in a lot of that stuff that you see.
I have this interesting story. I was hanging out with a friend, our friend Jeff. We were hanging out at Jeff's house, and Jeff brought in a guy that was one of his teachers that had sort of retired from magic, but was getting back into magic. But he was a 70s Chicago table hopper, like the real deal, with all the jokes and all the bits and the whole thing. And it was like coming at you like rapid fire, like a machine gun. Like there's some magic in there too, but it was just a different style. And it's almost like a series of put downs and then a trick happens, and it was just that style. It was just, Chicago, being at a bar late at night, everyone's drinking, and there's just people cutting into each other, and then there's a trick, but it was very bizarre because it's so different from the way people present magic nowadays. Mm-hmm. And to see it like in person, and this guy's like personifying this way of being, it was almost uncomfortable, but he had enough sense of the situation to give a wink and a nod and go, well, this is the way we used to do it, and like break the fourth wall so that he could like sort of soften the blow of what it was, because even he could see it was a little bit challenging and abrasive at times, and like might be off-putting for folks, but he never thought about it in that way until that night when he was doing it, and we sort of talked about it afterwards, and it was very interesting.
It's really interesting that magic, when you're working professionally for people, you gotta find some way of penetrating. And there's not a lot of ways to do it, really. There's basically a way for every unique, charismatic person who figures out how to do it, how to engage people and have them really like it. And I feel like this method that we're talking about, this sort of, we'll call it an aggressive-ish method, has the benefit of working to some extent, which means it's pretty easy to have the audience not take an interest. It's pretty easy to have the audience just not check in. And to some extent, you got to break through that haze in order to get their attention at all. And I think there's that whole generation that had this method of breaking in and getting their attention, and getting their attention without any blowback was sort of a problem for another time or another person or someone who had that talent in order to whittle their way through into making them really like it.
Mm-hmm.
You guys bought that, huh?
Yeah, sounded like you said it before.
And in that case, I didn't. You know, it's not like most of the lines in your act. I haven't said it before. Yeah, no, it's true though. Like they have to, you know, at the end of the day, when they're not watching you, you say whatever you can say to make them start watching you. Then tomorrow you'll wake up and figure out how to do that same thing again and make them like it.
Mm-hmm.
It's a harder thing to do.
For sure.
You know, unless people get there.
Are we done now with him, or do we have more? Are we going to have another day of?
I hope so.
We do have some more. We'll have some more Servon. We could take a break if
Okay, all right.
It's not quite Rickles-esque, David. I saw Don Rickles and I was astonished. Like at the end,
gets away with a lot.
When Don and does he? Like I remember watching Don Rickles say to the audience, "I kid," and I remember thinking, no. Like that show was a whole different thing. I mean, I don't know. I hear you, but there's got to be layers of offensive. There's got to be a offensive by degree. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think that Servon is a kind man compared to Rickles. That's for sure.
Sophie took a.
Have you ever seen when there's a guy in the front row? He's like, "Hey, is that your wife?" And he goes, "Yeah." And he goes, "Oof." It's so fucking rude.
I have never seen anything quite like that Don Rickles show. I like literally was like this. I looked like the memorected dude. I was like,
where do I watch it?
Oh, I mean, I paid for that. I paid to have that happen to me.
Yeah.
Oh.
And it was
actually, if you like Rickles, on YouTube, there's a series called Dinner with Don. And it's right before he died, they shot a bunch of them. And it's all like stars having dinner, like Billy Crystal and this and that. And they sit with him, they ask him questions. And the best one of all is he's like, you know, you were really close with Sinatra and there's all that Rat Pack stuff going on. And why didn't they include you? And without missing a beat, he goes, "I was too talented."
Good.
I was too talented.
Remember Howard?
You should watch it though; it's really fun.
I remember Howard Stern saying it was the highlight of his life, his dream come true, to have Don Rickles beat him up at dinner.
Yeah,
you know. And he was like, and it was a dream. And then I was there with him, and I was like, "Hey, this really hurts."
I mean. You know, I mean, we're totally off topic, but Don Rickles was like a superstar. Like when I was a kid in the 70s, he would come on the Tonight Show. It'd be like huge.
Steve, we're learning so much about you. This is the truth. The secret link. You are a Rickles man.
I am a Rickles. I wouldn't say that, but I think he's a one of a kind for sure.
All right, guys. So we're not going to have time for the after the show because we have to move on. It's almost 3:00, so I hope you enjoyed it. This has been fun today, though. I enjoyed watching this strictly non-card footage and learning more about Bruce's proclivities there. It's interesting. He's an interesting guy, I must say. Fun to watch.
Steve's super fanning out on Rickles. I wasn't expecting that. You know, it's a beautiful thing.
And we're not done with Rickles yet. All right, guys. So listen, thank you for joining us. If you enjoyed it today, hit the like button. That tells everybody we're doing a good job with these videos. And while you're at it, go ahead and subscribe to Conjuror Community, and you'll be notified when we go live with new magic videos. And if you've never tried out a proper magic club, you should give Conjuror Community Club a try. We appreciate you joining us